This is an emergency broadcast! My video about Ana Kasparian got false flagged, censored, out of YouTube and into the memory hole, where good things go to be forgotten. That's right, probably a viewer of the quote-unquote journalist Ana Kasparian false flagged my video and it got removed by YouTube. They gave my account a strike and I couldn't upload videos for a whole week. Imagine how many videos I could have put up in a whole week. Thousands. But just like Ana Kasparian's real nose, the truth won't be forgotten. The video got flagged for explicit sexual content, which had none, by the way, but probably the part that made YouTube remove the video and give me a strike was that disgusting game that the progressive journalist Ana Kasparian used to play called Guess the Camel Toe.
We have a special edition of Guess the Camel Toe today.
Oh, we do?
We do.
Where the so-called progressive journalist Ana Kasparian and her fat friend Shink Gagger will examine a woman's camel toe in extreme detail, zooming in, examining the vagina to guess who the celebrity was. Disgusting, I disavow. I censor everything I could, so the video won't be flagged again. Always remember the camel toe game. Always remember Ana Kasparian true nose and the Armenian genocide. They will never win. I won't be defeated. This is the re-upload. Please watch again. More videos coming soon. Others quit because they don't have the heart for the mission. I have the heart for the mission. I have the power in my veins. I'll re-upload the video 1,000 times if I have to. They'll never win.
Employee number 4 was Jill Pike. Sexy, smart, co-host of the show with me on Sirius Satellite Radio, on Air America.
You asked me to vote for a Republican, I'd say, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Now Cenk was really obsessed with being the mouthpiece for the liberal blogosphere.
Because you're a Republican prick.
He would come in every day looking for whatever crap he could say about abuses that George W. Bush was doing.
I sort of withdrew from his vitriol when he was getting so angry. Jill didn't, and they were starting to bicker more.
I wanted Jill to focus on more of the pop culture news and less of the hardcore political news.
You know, I thought he was making a judgment on me. Like, you're not smart enough to be on the show, Jill, so we're just going to put you to some of the more softer content.
She thought she would rather do the whole show, or I think not the show at all.
So you're telling me that August 15th, you're done. You're going to D.C.
Moving to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A few weeks after I got hired, Jill decided that she wanted to move to Washington, D.C. Cenk realized that he needed somebody to book guests. So he actually promoted me from a part-time employee to a full-time employee.
And we decided, hey, you know what, Anna? Why don't we try you on the other side of the camera a little bit? All right, this is Ana Kasparian, if you've never met her before.
Hello.
She wound up becoming one of our co-hosts.
But the hardest part for me is obviously the constant feedback, the constant criticism, the constant trolling. When you first start doing videos on YouTube, you're kind of obsessed with reading comments. You're like, oh my God, what are people saying? Do they like me? Do they hate me? Do they think I look good? Do they think I'm ugly? Like, you want to hear people's opinions. And then you start realizing that the more you read, the more you want to do self-harm. I love being a social justice warrior. I'd rather be a social justice warrior than a piece of fucking shit, okay? How about that? And you can call me a social justice warrior, you can call me whatever the fuck you want. At this point, I don't give a shit, okay? That's it, that's who I am. I have a hard time not disliking friends of mine who support Hillary. And wow. I know that that's not a nice thing to say, and I really don't care. I have friends that I have sat down with and had very detailed conversations, detailed explanations for why she is not a good progressive candidate. Yeah. And they reject that evidence. And so how is it possible for me to respect them after that? We have a special edition of Guess the Camel Toe today.
Oh, we do?
We do. Let's do a little close-up. Who's camel toe?
Oh, for the love of God.
You're claiming, what, you could beat me in a sprint and you could beat me in long distance? Are these the claims?
Long distance for sure.
This is not just for you, is it?
It's for my people.
This is a chance to strike back at the Ottoman Empire.
It is.
Essentially, and say no more genocide.
Right, he's the modern day leader of the Young Turks, correct?
He is, yeah.
And I gotta do this for my people. There's no way a man his size is gonna intimidate me in a 1 mile race.
Runners on your marks. Set. Race. You can do it. You can do it.
I can't do it. I suck. I can't.
And we have a winner by a technical knockout. Girls are weak.
Conservative pundit George Will was on This Week on Sunday, and he was making some comments about women fighting on the front lines and how he's against it. In fact, he said the following: "You're a 6'4", 240-pound Marine, and you're injured, and you need a Marine next to you to carry you back to safety. And the Marine next to you is a 5'4" woman who weighs 115 pounds. It's relevant." And I love Martha Raddatz because she brought up something known as the fireman's carry, which is a relatively easy way to carry an individual. We're about to attempt the fireman's carry. Grab you, put you on my back. All right, deep squat. All right, ready? Lay down on my back, dork. You're supposed to be dead.
I'm ready, you fucker, just go.
But the whole thing's absurd because George Will is making a case that doesn't exist in the real world.
Exactly.
In the real world, you have to go through the military training and you have to pass a test before you can get into the front line, whether you're a 115-pound dude or a 115-pound woman, right?
A year-long study by the Marine Corps indicates that groups or units that are all male perform better than mixed units that include females. All male squads, the study found, performed better than mixed gender units across the board. The males were more accurate hitting targets, faster at climbing over obstacles, and better at avoiding injuries. Why, baby, just leave him alone. Hey. This is so unnecessary. I'm doing a Facebook Live. I work in news.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm doing a live video. Why are you so rude? Look, I had a nose I didn't like, and I got that fixed. Never talked about it before because, quite frankly, that was a personal decision that I absolutely loved. And also, I didn't want to promote the idea that if someone has a big nose, they're not beautiful. For me, I didn't like it.
How do you feel about all the stuff that Trump said?
The rise in anti-immigrant sentiment, that's pretty much, it's raised fear amongst our communities and things like that. It brings back memories and history. So, of other leaders, of other groups, people that have rose to power, and have done much worse, such as the Young Turks. So, which is
very interesting. I'm sure it would be very entertaining, but we do want to focus on the election.
I actually do want to quickly respond to that because I think it's an interesting concern.
Have a seat.
No,
So
it's okay.
he brought up a question. And
So we worked really hard on this episode, and Mora Sosterra.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more questions from the audience, from actual students, after we come back from this. I don't know what he's saying.
You consider that genocide, yes or no? Yes or no? Of course I can. And you went for the Young Turks. You just called it that multiple times. For the Young Turks.
Do you really think I denied the genocide? You think I denied the genocide? I don't deny the genocide! I don't deny it!
And the Young Turks, you know where the Young Turks came from? They killed 1.5 million Christians.
All right, Brian. Let's give Cenk Uygur a chance to chime in. He's
okay. Yeah, that's okay. Anna and I were talking about how much power women have. Okay, so everybody first of all, get by your computer, get by a keyboard, and get ready to type out how the sexualizing the women messages. Okay.
Right.
And then we got into talk about sex. Right. We're talking about sex. Is that what we're talking about? Right. And I said, if you tease men the right way, they'll give you anything. So we decided to do an experiment. Will that actually work in real life? Mm-hmm. I asked Anna to go to a mall, okay, and just ask a random guy to buy her shoes. Just buy them free for her and see what happened. Now, I don't know what happened, but Anna's here to tell us. You tried it yesterday.
I tried it yesterday. I guess I kind of cheated a little bit because I was in one store trying on clothes, and I decided I'm going to try on this little denim skirt thing, you know? So as I'm going into the dressing room, I see a guy standing by there, and I ask him, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this outfit? Does it look good? And he was like, yeah, that looks really good. And I was like, oh, do you have anything to do right now? And he was like, no, not really, just looking around the mall. And I said, hey, I'm gonna go across to Macy's real quick to the shoe department. Do you want to go with me? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. So we go, and I start trying on some shoes, and I found a pair that I liked, and I looked at them, and I said, do you like these? And he's like, yeah, they look good. You really like them? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, since you like them so much, you want to buy them for me?
Oh, I can't. Come on. This is Class A stuff. Okay.
And I was expecting him to be like, what? Yeah, right, or something. And he was just like, well, how much are they? They were $80.
But I told you. I said, okay. I said you can go up to $100 easy, right? Remember?
Right.
Okay.
They were $80. And he's like, all right. So.
Oh, come on.
I got a new pair of shoes.
Look at this.
They're hot. I love them.
You know what? The shoes look good.
Yeah?
I might have bought you those shoes.
As I'm making the U-turn, a motorcycle cop turns the street and he sees me do it. He pulls me over immediately, right? I've dealt with many cops because of many traffic citations, so I'm ready for it. This cop was by far the meanest cop I've ever dealt with, but it went beyond just being mean. The first thing he did was he got to the window. He's supposed to say, you know why I pulled you over, right? First thing he says was, why are you laughing? What's so funny? Basically, no one's laughing, right? And then he's like, you know, I can give you 4 tickets right now, right? I'm gonna give you 4 tickets. And then I started freaking out because I'm like, if there's 4 tickets, then I'm gonna get some of these on my record for sure, right? And he was right. So the U-turn is 2 tickets right there. Then because of that U-turn, he says that I did a failure to yield. So that's another ticket. My windows are tinted. Whatever, man. I'm gonna tint my fucking windows. I don't give a shit. He walks back to his motorcycle to get his little citation book to write me the citation. And then all of a sudden I hear him say something, but I couldn't hear him. It sounded like muffled or something because there's like traffic, and so I ignore it, right? Then he says something again, and I didn't hear him again. So I poked my head out the window and I said, sorry, officer, I couldn't hear you. Can you please repeat that? And he's like, I need you to step out of the vehicle.
Damn.
Okay.
Man, this story got intense.
So then as soon as he said that, I started crying, right? Because I don't want to get out of my vehicle. This cop was very intimidating, right? And he didn't care if I was apologetic, if I was remorseful. He just wanted to fucking intimidate me, right? So at this point I'm like, first of all, does he have the right to pull me out of the car? I haven't done anything wrong other than the U-turn. Is he gonna search the car? I have nothing in there. I mean, I got a little worried, maybe there's weed or something, but there wasn't, right? So I step out, and I kid you not, for 10 minutes straight, he starts asking me questions that I think are inappropriate, okay? So he asked me things like, when was the last time you deserved a ticket?
What the hell does that mean?
How often do you talk on the phone when you're driving? Are you a reckless driver? Like, just asking me a bunch of questions, and I just answered him honestly. Where were you going? Why did you make that U-turn? And then I said, look, I was late to work. I lied here. And then I was like, I work down the street, and he's like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a reporter. And then he was like, oh, there's a newspaper company down the street? Like, basically thinking I'm lying. I was like, no, it's a broadcast news show. And I was like, it's called The Young Turks. And then I freaked out a little bit because I'm like, we talk a lot of shit about cops, so I don't know what's about to happen, right? And then he's like, what kind of reporting do you do? And I was like, headline news and politics. And then he asked me something that I thought was really interesting. He's like, oh, are you famous? And then I said, a little bit. And then he closed his citation book. And then he asked me, are you disappointed that I'm letting you off with a warning? Right? And then I didn't know what to say, because am I supposed to say, yes, I'm disappointed because I deserve this ticket? Or do I say, no, I'm fucking ecstatic because I don't want this ticket? So all I did was just stand there, like looking remorseful and pathetic, right? And then he repeated his question, and I was like, well, if I'm honest with you, I'm not disappointed that you're letting me off with a warning, but I know that I deserve that ticket. And then I don't remember what he said after that, but it basically ended with him telling me, I hope you have a better day.
Wow, that was really, really weird.
And
I did not expect any of that.
He did not, look, he didn't sexually assault me in any way, but there was something very creepy about him.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, using his power against, like, basically a weak-looking girl.
But I got this before you said it.
Here was another thing.
I got the sense that it was sexual before you even said it.
He also said one other thing.
Yeah, okay, Jesus agrees.
Me recounting what happened is one thing, but being there in the moment and kind of feeling violated is another thing. And it sounds ridiculous compared to all the other...
No, it doesn't. I got that sense when you were telling the story.
Yeah.
Anna is actually recounting the story in a tone that's more generous towards a cop. It's actually worse because she told me the story right after it had happened when it was very fresh. He loved the fact that no matter what he said to her, she was obedient and subservient. Oh yes, sir.
Oh God.
Yes, I totally deserve that ticket.
Right.
And that
but
question,
he might have loved it more if she was the opposite. If she fought him, he might have loved it even more.
Who knows, right? But those questions are so weird. Like, when was the last time you got a ticket? When was the last time
you deserved a ticket?
Deserved a ticket.
Yeah, that's the one, right?
That's when the story took the turn.
Yeah.
When you said deserved a ticket, I was like, whoa, that's like S&M kind of
When was the last time you were a bad girl?
Yeah.
Right.
Because he asked her, when was the last time you deserved a ticket but didn't get one?
Yeah,
right.
that's his word.
Yeah. That's super creepy.
Yeah. That guy, man, that guy's trouble.
Okay, I feel like this kind of stuff happens to me so often that it almost seems like I'm making it up, right?
Mm-hmm.